slows down the progression of cancer cells.
And
it relieves your pain
Was they high when
after
they wrote
chemotherapy. It helps with multiple sclerosis. It slows down the process of Alzheimer's, and there were
Migraines.
tons. There were tons of medical benefits. So,
but it's opening up your pineal gland. So all of those things, like, it's hard to explain.
what is that again? What kind of gland?
The pineal gland.
Pineal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pineal.
Some
Had me
people
looking
refer
up a
to
word.
it as the third eye.
Yeah,
The
or
third.
your
Okay.
Which is why you think you see all this trippy stuff. It's because a lot of things we take in clogs that. Fluoride, for one. Different medicines, aspirin and stuff. They all clog that.
But
So
that would
our third
almost.
eye was real open. You seeing blue people, and I'm running down the street.
But just like with anything else that has a good, like, health benefits that are natural, it depends on your diet, what you're, the other things you're taking in. So marijuana on top of a bad diet, on top of just bad living, is not going to give you any type of benefits.
Okay, can y'all answer this for me? Why do people get the munchies after smoking it?
It increases your appetite. That's one of the benefits of it.
Right.
So why are there not, huge people?
Well, there are.
A lot of people that I know that smoke it are like skinny.
Not the double.
No, they're not the double wide. They're skinny.
We have immediate family members who are really thin. They picked up a little bit of weight, but they're really thin.
So, like, I don't get it. Like,
It's really
Well,
all
see,
the diet.
again, some of the medical benefits that I've heard about related to it, to help people have an appetite when they're on a cancer regimen, where they're trying to recover from that, they don't have an appetite. So I've heard there's some. When I was in Denver, they had a big 420 event when they were doing a promotion for Rock the Vote. And there were a lot of people there who were really advocates for legalizing marijuana. It was in Denver. And there were a lot of people there who had cancer and were going through radiation, and they were proponents of it because they had no appetite without smoking. So it helped them to develop an appetite to keep them alive. There's medicinal benefits from it, and I don't disagree with marijuana itself because as far as I'm concerned, it's a plant. It produces oxygen, which
a
I'm
pretty
using
plant.
anyway. So I appreciate the marijuana plant for producing the oxygen.
well, you still use it?
For the oxygen, yes. As we use any
got one at the
photosynthesis.
house?
No, I don't have one at the house. No.
These loaded
happening
questions.
here?
I don't have one at the house.
What's going on? Hello?
Now, if you had said
Can I
yes,
get out
I
of
have
this room?
several. Then what?
You sound like you interested.
Come over.
No need. There ain't nothing there like that.
If you're interested, raise your hand.
I got a big letter Bible. Oh, all of y'all come to the house. All y'all raised y'all. It's y'all go. We might have a come to Jesus
Listen,
meeting.
We just want to check it out.
But you know what? I have a son who has ADHD, and they said that marijuana it helps kids with ADD and ADHD. But I'm wondering, when you start your child on that, addiction is serious, and it doesn't take a lot to get addicted.
So who's paying for that?
I think the oil, it has to be prescribed by your doctor.
Oh, okay.
Which oil?
Yeah.
CBD oil.
CBD oil.
CBD oil
So
to
mild is like 50.
doesn't
eight-
have the same effect as
What'd you
marijuana.
say?
That's a different
Right.
usage. It's a
It's not
different purpose. The THC that's legalized in Ohio has to have 0.03 THC for it to be legal, and then even at that point, it's really only being used for joints to be eased in terms of joint pain. It's used for that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
as far as
So it ain't
focus,
real.
CBD oil is it's a different type of.
But if he has
usage for
ADD,
the plant.
it would be more decreasing in anxiety, though,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? Yeah. So
Yeah.
in low doses, it would be like a sedative. So he would be a little more relaxed and not necessarily.
But 0.03 is not going to do all that.
That's better than taking this other medicine.
Ritalin
You go
and
on extra
Focalin
breast
and- yeah.
all this other stuff.
But I'm saying for the THC level to be high enough to have an impact on someone who's having a challenge focusing, that CBD oil is not. I don't believe that's going to do it. That's just too low of a percentage of THC.
Like, do
When
have
you
to-
smoke, you get really focused on things. Like, you've seen people, they get stuck on
Yeah.
one thought and they stay there.
Yeah.
It becomes very much like an autistic moment. You get
Right.
very, very detailed about one point, and you can break that one point down so many ways. How you think all these delicious appetizers come up? That's somebody high.
So I think we might need to figure out the difference between CBD and THC. So CBD is a non-psychoactive part in marijuana, so it doesn't get the user high. THC is your main psychoactive component in the cannabis plant,
Yeah.
which will be responsible for having you high, and which is the
And I think that's why they're
excitement in recreational
prescribing
use.
the
So give me the
CBD
second
oil, and it may be just in different doses that they're
Exactly.
giving the kids
Yeah.
for ADHD.
So I don't know. I think a good balance of anything would help that out.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. And this is the last question I'm going to ask about this.
Okay.
We have a lot of church people listening. They all high. You said they all high,
They all
or
high.
they want to get high, or they need to get high.
Deacons smoking before they come to church.
They
No.
was high.
What do you think about spiritually? What do you think about marijuana usage?
You mean like in the church house? Like,
Mar, you go first.
Like
Come on,
I don't expect you to come into the church smoking.
I mean, I have
weed.
hugged many of people like,
Oh yeah,
you just was chiefing before you came here.
yeah. Musicians, praise
Oh.
team, singers, everything, everybody.
Praise the Lord.
Is there a problem with that?
I think so.
A problem with what?
Smoking marijuana.
Yeah.
Sometimes
If you're head of ministry, yeah.
What does ministry have to do with a legalized substance?
First of all,
I'm
You
just asking a question.
you should not be up there with the loud in your system, praising the Lord.
You don't think that would
enhance.
elevate your experience?
Definitely not. Because
So what-
me personally, with me seeing little people, yeah, that would freak me out. Like it would be just bad.
So what do y'all
experience.
feel like
She's a little
Rastafarians? Because that's essentially why they use it, because it
They say it elevates
again,
them
it
to a higher
opens
spiritual
the
level.
third eye, and like you said, puts you quote unquote closer to the Most High.
So what's their religious beliefs? What's their religious beliefs?
Rastafarians,
Yeah.
they still believe in God and the Bible, but they use
I thought they
marijuana.
used those little people.
You said what?
I thought they used those little people.
You thinking voodoo?
Voodoo?
There you
Girl.
go.
No.
I'm sorry,
Oh
Rasta
God,
people.
that is a stereotype, and we apologize.
My
I'm so sorry,
Rastafarians.
y'all. I'm slow. So
Oh my
sorry.
God.
She done
I'm
put
so
y'all in there
sorry.
with.
I'm so sorry.
OMG.
That's another conversation.
Really? Like I never.
Yeah.
That
I didn't
belongs in the movie Us.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
see anything wrong with it. My mom has, and I'm not putting her business out there. She's got some autoimmune things going on, and I would love to see her pain eased.
So you mean from like the oil, but not necessarily smoke?
Yeah, I wouldn't like
Can
her
you
to
imagine
smoke.
Mama Joe smoking?
Had you caught her in her younger days?
Listen, Linda Gamble says I'll take it anytime without a high. She sleeps. She doesn't smoke, but she does use the oil.
Oh,
There you
okay,
go.
Auntie.
Okay.
We need to come visit.
But see, listen, you know what?
I didn't know that.
How is it? So since you said something about the church people, right?
Yeah.
Two things I would say. One, it's kind of like a doctor who smokes. It's kind of like an oxymoron. I mean, why are you doing something that you know can kill you? However, marijuana won't necessarily kill you, but it will take away from the impact of whatever your message is, because there is the stereotype about its poor usages or the behavior of those who have not responsibly used it. Then at the same time, God did make everything on this planet and then said it was all good. So there's medicinal value that I think a doctor or those who are studying it and doing the research on it, which incidentally, all the CBD oil that they've legalized here, I think it was issue 57. A part of that was for the research of the oil and what effects it can have. So there are things that are good about marijuana, the plant itself and its value, but how it's administered, how it's used, that's where it needs to have somebody that's overseeing it, that has the wisdom and the knowledge to know how to apply it. Because like you said, you see blue people when you smoke. You see yourself running down the street, maybe running into the blue people. You just enjoy the effects at some level that allows you to be able to, I guess, exercise your freedom to do whatever you want to do.
Creative.
Right. And there's a lot of people who refer to it as to access that creative portion of their lives. And some people will, I think a lot of musicians will admit that when you get to a certain high and you realize that that creativity is there, the thing you want to do next is repeat it. But to repeat it, you've got to take more.
Yeah.
You got to continue to increase the dosage. And that's where we don't know how much you have to get to or have to take before you get too far.
Yeah, so was it Tangi made a good point. Let's talk about the difference between the strands, the two major strands of marijuana, which is sativa and indica. A lot of people don't know the difference. They just smoke it just to be smoking it. But sativa is more like your head high, your alertness, uplifting, euphoric, the creative juices. Right. That's what you want to take if you're trying to, be up there. Indica is the one that's more relaxation, appetite stimulant, sleep aid, pain relief. So that's probably what Miss Linda is taking.
Yeah,
indica.
Oil.
Yeah, the oil. Yeah. So there's the difference. Excuse me.
Clear your throat, boo. Clear your throat.
One again, the sativa. Damn, I can't talk right now. It's for like daytime use. Okay. Your upper. And then your indica is like your lower bedtime use, relaxation.
So I need the upper then.
Yeah.
So if I have the upper, maybe I won't see the blue.
You're doing all right without it. You might want to stay just smart.
So you smokers out there, make sure y'all not messing too much with the hybrids, those cross-pollination ones, the ones that you really don't know what they are, how they're being created. That's where y'all
what
start
if it looks
messing
a
up.
different color. Like I seen some that looks different colors. Like it's like pink, blue.
Yeah, those are those crazy strands.
But some of the stuff just makes you wonder anyway, because one week I would be smoking blue cookies. The next week he'd be talking about, I got that diesel. It's in turn into gas. What am I smoking? And each one would have a different effect.
Yep.
So let's get back to church people. So what you're saying is everything is, if I'm hearing you correctly, everything is good. We have a problem with discipline and usage.
Correct.
That's what you're saying.
We as humans mess it up.
Okay.
Think about when alcohol when it first got introduced, right? I mean, how many of us probably, I don't know, I'm probably old enough to know where my people would put alcohol on the babies' gums to help them deal with the teething. Now we raise your eyebrows on that, and that's blowing your mind, Cam. But I know
somebody
you do NyQuil.
Yeah, I know.
My grandmother told me she did. She gave me the little rum.
What year was this?
Right. What year was this?
1990.
Oh,
I know someone who gave their child alcohol to put them to sleep.
That's not right. That's abuse.
I turned out okay.
Mama Joe, she didn't mean that.
I turned out okay.
I'm about to call up here in about 5 minutes. She getting her belt ready.
Ted, that was
like
a really
a shot?
good point.
We thank you guys. Those of you who are tuned in live to Spreaker, we see you and we thank you.
Indeed.
Keep your comments coming.
Wait.
But we're gonna We need to take a break. We need to take a
But
break.
she's not the only one. I know somebody was taking
Yeah,
NyQuil.
it's a lot
they
of
was
people.
giving their kids NyQuil to sit them still.
Listen.
Take this break.
Serve.
Look, my mother said that I was off the hook, and my father used to give me a little something to put me to sleep.
That. We had that
Remember
other show. Yes.
Is that why you so chill right
I
now?
turned out okay.
I don't know, but she's so happy to tell it.
She's
You know
sitting
how
back
she
here
talking
like,
about it?
yeah,
You're like,
I'm okay.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're going to take a break, and we're going to continue the conversation when we come back. You're listening to The Drip. Hey guys, it's your girl Nick,
Ms. Mar,
and you're listening to The Drip,
discussing real issues and perspectives.
Tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern.
You can find us at Instagram at The Drip Podcast 19, Facebook The Drip PCast 19, Twitter The Drip _NM, Tumblr at The Drip PCast 19.
Drop us an email at thedrippodcast19@gmail.com.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe
on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Google Play Music, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, and SoundCloud. Don't forget your coffee. Keep it locked. The Drip.